Formula One is changing everything for 2026, and there's literally never been a better time to start watching. We're talking brand new cars, huge manufacturers joining, legendary drivers returning, and a huge shake-up to the sporting side that's previously seen Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen, and Lando Norris dominate the sport. The truth is, everybody is forgetting just how different 2026 is going to be. I really mean this. So you can look really smart when you've watched this video, as I'm going to tell you everything that's happening. 2025 may have seemed a bit boring to some fans, but this upcoming season is going to be an absolute banger for seasoned and new F1 fans alike. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly why you should watch F1 in 2026. Now, 2026 more than ever represents the perfect time for new fans to start following for a few reasons. In recent years, F1, or perhaps more accurately, Liberty Media, have been making a huge push to bring new fans into the sport and increase its accessibility. Examples of this push have been seen in projects such as Drive to Survive, the Netflix series, which really increased the sport's popularity, especially in the USA. That being said, F1 remains very technical, make no mistake, and some people might feel a bit intimidated by the amount of knowledge required in order to really get invested in the sport. 2026, however, represents that perfect time for new fans to jump in. The huge regulation change means that new fans can enter on the same page as everybody else in terms of technical information, and the amount of fresh talent we've seen in the 2025 season and at least one rookie in 2026 season means that there are new drivers for fans to watch progress. Learning about F1 has also never been easier through the wealth of educational videos on YouTube, for example, and teams often provide incredible insight into their work and personalities through social media these days. Again, that's why 2026 is the perfect time for new fans to immerse themselves in the sport. Speaking of regulation change, which is arguably one of the biggest technical shakeups in F1 history, let's talk about one of the most important parts of F1, the cars. The 2022 to 2025 era of F1 cars has been criticised for being too big, difficult to set up, and very poor for the overall quality of racing. The new regulations aim to improve on these aspects with slightly smaller, lighter cars which have new aerodynamic and engine rules. Gone are the super low, stiff, ground effect cars that cause all kinds of problems with ride quality and bouncing. The new regulations will instead have active aero that changes between a high downforce and low drag configuration depending on the requirement, and a new engine that switches to a 50-50 power split between electric and ICE power, internal combustion. DRS is gone, being replaced in a way by a new push-to-pass system, and the move away from ground effect cars should theoretically improve the ride and drivability of these new machines. These new cars are different in almost every single way and should absolutely be a reason for watching the upcoming season. F1 racing over the past season has been pretty well bad, and that's why these new cars should change that. As mentioned previously, the characteristics of these new cars should provide a big improvement in the overall quality of racing. One of the big problems with the 2025 cars was dirty air, or the turbulence generated by the cars. This turbulence impacts the airflow over the car following behind, reducing downforce and making close following and racing very difficult. The new cars aim to reduce the amount of dirty air produced by cars in front and therefore make close racing possible. The reduced size and weight of the new cars should also make them more agile, allowing for more manoeuvrability in tight corners, which creates more racing and overtaking opportunities. The reduced downforce of these new cars should also have the side effect of increasing the technicality of high-speed corners, which might also improve racing through high-speed sections of the track as well. For fans who have been desperately waiting for the racing to improve, you will definitely want to watch. The boring racing of the past goes in hand with another issue F1 has been facing: predictability. The fact that until 2025, all of the Drivers' Championships in 2010 included, so 15 seasons, have been won by either Red Bull or Mercedes, tells you all you need to know about the state of the sport in the modern era. The big regulation overhaul should theoretically introduce a lot more variables into the equation, for example, performance disparity or reliability issues. F1 this season has been extremely predictable and not very exciting outside of the end of season championship surge by Max Verstappen. The new regulation cycle should inject a much needed shot of jeopardy into the sport, combining things such as field spread reliability and innovation into a much more dynamic field. F1's 2026 season could actually provide a direct benefit to your everyday life One thing that some people overlook is that F1 doesn't exist only for the sake of the sport, although that's definitely an important factor. F1 also exists as a way for global car manufacturers to innovate and develop new technology in a competitive environment. These technologies, such as advanced hybrid electric systems and incredibly efficient internal combustion engines, are all developments that are equally as important in the consumer market and eventually trickle down into the car you drive yourself. In 2026, the grid will have not one but two new huge manufacturers joining the grid, being Audi and Cadillac, two of the largest car companies in the whole world. In addition to the existing manufacturers and teams, Ford and Toyota have also increased their presence within the sport. Ford is partnering with Red Bull in the development of their power unit, and Toyota coming on board with Haas as a kind of technical partner and title sponsor. Each manufacturer will want to prove that they can build the best car on the track, driving fierce competition which will transfer over to the car that you drive yourself. 2026 will also increase the number of cars on track. You heard that right. I just mentioned that there will be two new manufacturers joining the grid for the coming season, which means there'll be more cars hitting the track, which again creates more opportunities for action and strategy masterclasses. An important point to remember is that two new manufacturers does not mean four new cars on track, however. Audi has taken over the existing Sauber F1 team, while Cadillac has come in as the 11th team on the grid, increasing the total number of cars from 2022. F1 allows for up to 12 teams on the grid though, so it's entirely possible that Cadillac's foray into F1 proves successful, then another manufacturer might just have a crack at filling that 12th spot. Having more cars on track has fantastic potential for race action, but there's also the technical diversity that this will bring, as the fans will be able to see even more variation in the way different teams interpret the new regulations, especially in the 2026 season where experimentation will be all over the place. Now this part here is for the existing F1 fans just as much as the new ones. 2026 sees the return of two beloved F1 drivers who both have unfinished business with the sport. Sergio Perez and Valtteri Bottas both found themselves on the sidelines at the end of 2024 after both enduring a pretty dismal season. Perez was actually Max Verstappen's teammate at Red Bull from 2021 to 2024, prior to which he'd been a brilliant driver for midfield teams with standout performances such as his win in Sakir 2020. During his 2021 to 2024 Red Bull stint, however, his performance degraded year after year as the car became more difficult to drive, and allegedly the team ignored his warnings about car development, culminating in him being dropped. The subsequent 2025 car was so brutal to drive that Red Bull ended up going through two drivers in a single season, Liam Lawson and Yuki Tsunoda. This went a long way to actually restore Perez's reputation, maybe he was right, and following that he has signed a contract with Cadillac. Fans are excited to see what he can do to help his new team. Valtteri Bottas, who established himself as a very solid driver during his time as Hamilton's teammate at Mercedes, prior to joining Sauber in 2022, had a very disappointing 2024 season simply due to the fact that the Sauber at the time was a wheelie bin and was nowhere all season. He'll also be looking to Cadillac to build solid foundations for the future. Now this last part is probably my favourite, as this is what we as fans really love and want to experience, the potential storylines that the 2026 season could offer. And by the way, if you want to follow these storylines, make sure to subscribe to my channel. It would really help me out. We're going to be covering the whole season, because with a massive shake-up in the regulations, it does really genuinely feel like anything could happen. But here's a few potential storylines that you should definitely be looking forward to. One question that a lot of people are asking is, will Ferrari finally get it right? They have a lot riding on the coming season, as both of their drivers might end up leaving the team for different reasons. Lewis Hamilton has just finished the worst season of his F1 career, and if that performance is replicated in 2026, he will most likely retire from the sport entirely. And Charles Leclerc is easily one of the best drivers on the grid right now, in his prime, and yet he has a relatively disappointing number of wins under his belt, as despite his seemingly unshakable loyalty to Ferrari, he is yet to be repaid. If Ferrari failed to give him a championship winning operation in this coming season, it's entirely possible that he might lose hope and jump ship to another team in the hopes of finally winning a championship. The rumours are currently circulating that this team could be Aston Martin. Speaking of Aston Martin, there is an absolutely incredible story waiting to be told in that team. Will Aston Martin and Fernando Alonso make F1 history? Alonso is widely regarded as a legend of the sport, known for his unmatched experience, racing IQ, and ability to extract the maximum out of whatever he's given. After a decade plus of dealing with inconsistent at best and downright terrible cars at worst, without a single win to show for his struggles, It would be such a feel-good and record-setting moment for the entire F1 community to see him on the top step of the podium once more, even winning the championship, provided that Aston Martin can deliver a competitive car. Another exciting storyline is that of Williams, who after an excellent 2025 season seem poised for success in 2026, with James Vowles steering the ship and Alex Albon and Carlos Sainz in the cars. Seeing a further resurgence from Williams and maybe even a race win or two would be fantastic. By now I think it's fair to say that F1 in 2026 is going to be a real spectacle, providing a fresh start for new fans as well as exciting elements for existing fans, such as new cars and regulations, better racing and more unpredictability, new teams and a list of fascinating storylines that all F1 fans should definitely look forward to. It really seems like everything is changing for the upcoming season, and that's exactly why you should definitely be watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with my upcoming videos.